And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Today's hazardous weather graphic here showing winter storm warnings out for the Yukon Delta, lower Yukon River Valley, northward to the Kobuk Valley, and then back out into the Noatak Valley. As a storm system moves northward, these warnings will kick into effect from south to north, looking for heavy snow and wind, creating low visibilities and blowing snow here later tonight into tomorrow and toward tomorrow night. Winter weather advisory for lesser conditions for the coastal areas of the Seward Peninsula here, eastern Norton Sound, and northern or the southern or the Kuskokwim Valley here out toward Nunivak Island. Then a high wind warning out for the Alaska Range for winds gusting to 75 miles an hour, and also a high wind warning out for the Anchorage-Palmer area, especially the hillside areas, higher elevations, looking for gusts to 75 miles an hour tonight into probably early afternoon Tuesday. And from there, satellite imagery showing a lot of moisture moving northward here. Strong south to north flow here with building high pressure to the east. Dry conditions in the Panhandle today with some clearing, but a lot of clouds spreading northward. Hard to pick the low center out here under all the mid and upper level cloudiness though. And colder air coming southward here to a certain extent over the Bering Sea and rolling that through again. Not really much going on out that way. Just some snow showers and lighter wind conditions. A little bit of a pickup in the snow shower activity around Shimya. Areas of light snow with that cloud batch there on the western Arctic coast. On today's chart, here's front moving northward here, that bringing winds gusting up to 70 miles an hour this afternoon and higher elevations of, or actually over the Anchorage hillside, winds gusting 50 to 70 miles per hour by early afternoon today. And very windy conditions here back over the western Alaska Range into Bristol Bay area, Kamishak Bay, and rain Kodiak Island there. But to the north, just increasing and thickening mid and high level clouds, dry conditions, a little bit of light snow for the western Arctic coast, and some scattered snow shower activity with pretty light winds out over the Bering Sea there with higher pressure centered farther to the west. A stronger high here centered over the Panhandle, keeping conditions dry there, and again forcing all this moisture northward and keeping the southeast coast dry for the next couple of days. Also north of the Alaska Range, conditions dry there. But those winds will be increasing tonight. Again, high wind warning for the Alaska Range goes into effect later tonight and stays in effect here for, again, Anchorage, Palmer. Again, gusts 75 miles per hour and maybe 40 to 50 mile an hour winds down to the Anchorage Bowl area and out toward the lower elevations. So windy night and windy day tomorrow coming up with mostly precipitation in the form of rain over Prince William Sound and the southern Kenai Peninsula. Periods of rain, gusty winds for Kodiak Island, and a mixture of precipitation here farther to the west, western Bristol Bay, mixed precipitation in the Kuskokwim Valley, but snow and blowing snow developing, a couple of low centers here. This one tracking northward there, that'll deteriorate conditions there from the Yukon Delta across the Seward Peninsula with snow already up later tonight to the western Brooks Range on the southern slopes there. Much lighter off to the east, just light snow in northern Koyukuk Valley areas. Stay dry in the Tanana Valley due to the downsloping off the Alaska Range there. And areas of snow showers, light winds over the Bering Sea with snowfall levels coming down to around sea level here for the Aleutians. So, but nothing significant in the way of, again, either wind or snow expected out that way. And dry conditions for the southeast coast continue into tomorrow. High pressure over the northwest territories of Canada. Light winds in the Copper River Basin with a fair amount of clearing. And again, along and north of the Alaska Range, staying dry. In fact, it looks like precipitation in the Sitna Valley, dry conditions, but a very windy day coming up for south central Alaska to the western Alaska Range here. And then winds lightening up in the Kuskokwim Valley out to the coast here with snow showers coming in with this trough for the Yukon Delta or areas of light snow, but you can see the winds diminishing here behind that front, staying quite windy though in advance of that front up to the western Brooks Range area. And again, not much going on out over the Bering Sea, just some light snow shower activity, say around the Pribilofs. Look for drying conditions, weak high pressure in tomorrow over the eastern Aleutians. High pressure in the west, so light winds and mostly dry weather out in those areas. And then for the day on Wednesday, another storm finally makes an appearance here way out there to the west, probably only affecting Shimian-Attu with increasing chances of precipitation there. This one back up over the west and northwest part of the Bering Sea, maybe a few snow showers coming southwestward into the Pribilofs, and that's about it. Next system here coming onto the chart from the south, warm front extending northward, actually kind of the remnants of the original front that washes out over the interior. But look for rain, Kodiak Island, mixture of precipitation here, Kuskokwim Valley down into Bristol Bay, high pressure developing over Norton Sound, light winds now with drying conditions throughout the day, maybe clearing, and definitely see some clearing over the eastern part of the state down into Sitna Valley, Matanuska Valley, northern Cook Inlet, light winds, dry conditions, North Gulf Coast, same pattern, and stays dry with light winds over the southeast coast for the day on Wednesday. And from there, moving to the lows tonight, Yukon Flats, anywhere from 0 to 10 below. Same thing for the north slope and the Arctic coast. Pretty mild in the 30s here to upper 30s for Bristol Bay to the Alaska Peninsula. And then in the 20s for the Aleutians, near 20 for the Pribilofs. Even colder over the northern Bering Sea. 20s for the most part over much of the southeast coast. Highs for tomorrow, 35 to 45 south central Alaska, upper 30s Kodiak Island, and 35 to 40 for Bristol Bay, 30s and lower 40s for the Kuskokwim Valley, and then markedly colder out toward the southwest coast there behind the front, mid 20s for the Pribilofs, upper 20s to lower 30s for the Aleutians, and in the 30s for the Alaska Peninsula. Highs mid 30s northern panhandle and 40 to 45 down to the south, with temperatures, some areas could rise to near 40 depending on in the windier areas here north of the Alaska Range. And then the lows the following morning back down to 5 to 15 there for the Tanana Valley, and around 0 to 5 St. Lawrence Island, single numbers for the Yukon Kuskokwim Delta area, lower 20s for the Pribilofs, in the 20s for the Aleutians, and right around 30 for the Alaska Peninsula, 20s to lower 30s for the Bristol Bay area, and 25 to 35 south central Alaska, and 20s to lower 30s for the southeast coast. Looking at the highs for Wednesday afternoon, we've got again mid 40s over the southern panhandle, mid 30s to the north, 20s for the Copper River Basin, and mid to upper 30s south central Alaska, lower 40s Kodiak Island in toward Homer, Seldovia, lower 40s there, 30s for Bristol Bay. We'll see in the 20s over the central interior, cooling into the teens out toward the coast, and around 10 for St. Lawrence Island, and lower 30s for the Aleutians.